In the modern age of the basketball world that we live in, when it comes to female athletes, many people have imagined so many what-if scenarios. What if Mark Cuban was to actually draft Brittany Griner in 2013? What if DeMarcus Cousins and Brittany Griner actually played that 1v1? What if we snuck an actual current-day NBA player in the All-Star Celebrity Game so they can play a WNBA player right in front of our eyes on national television? Well, this video is about how stuff like mixing the NBA and the WNBA will probably never happen. Now, I already know this might be a sensitive topic to touch on, so let me go on and say that I have nothing against any female sports athletes in the slightest. However, in this video, we have to discuss some serious topics. Within this video, we'll be discussing why co-ed basketball, at least professionally, will never happen. But in this case specifically, we will keep it towards basketball as this is a basketball channel. Now, I will say now, this video is not meant to offend anybody, so just keep an open mind of what I'm about to say throughout the video. If you got anything to say, the comment section is open for the taking. In this video, we'll be going over stuff like WNBA competition versus NBA competition, the bias that may lie if women did play men, and the thing I hear about way too much, what if transgender athletes actually did play in the WNBA? The like goal of today's video is the usual 1,000 likes to support the channel, and subscribe if you are new for more interesting basketball content, just like this video, which is something not a lot of people on the internet would even think about talking about, but hey, that's why I'm here. With that out of the way, you already know who it is. Wallet!
He incurred an injury dealing with weights in the weight room, so he stitched up in the left hand doing all this.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
In my video where I talked about the WNBA and how it's coming back for a new season, I argued that not a lot of people actually cared for it. You can also make the same argument about how even NBA fans didn't want the NBA back, myself included, as they recorded record lows for NBA Finals viewage this year. Now, let's take a deeper look about how mixing the leagues in some sort of way won't happen. It might actually be bad for the WNBA. The WNBA itself, at least in the public eye the most, usually isn't well perceived with most people due to all the antics they get themselves in. Even when after I made that video I was talking about earlier, Andre Iguodala was congratulating a player for their performance in the game, just to then be ridiculed by the player he was congratulating for some reason. Stuff like that is usually not the type of look a business would like to go for to set for themselves, let alone a player representing themselves. But the WNBA in general is of course full of lesser competition than the NBA. I'm sure everyone could agree on that. And in the intro of this video, I speculated what would happen even if a current day NBA player were to join the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game against a WNBA player, just for fun. However, I feel like the WNBA players being in the All-Star Celebrity Games shouldn't happen in the first place. When you have B-list to C-list celebrities balling on professional WNBA athletes, it is not a good look for them or the league itself. Now, even though it isn't a good look, it also plants the seeds in people's heads of, wait, if Quavo can score 19 points against WNBA players in the paint, does that mean that I have a chance against a WNBA player in a one-on-one situation? It also doesn't help that the WNBA players don't do much themselves in the games where they are representing the league. I can only imagine this is supposed to be a way to promote your league, but if you have Candace Parker, a two-time MVP, and Stephanie Dolson, a two-time All-Star, not scoring a single point against a bunch of people who don't even play basketball like they do, it's not going to be a good look. Stephanie Dolson legit was running cardio for 12 minutes and only got 3 fouls. Again, the last thing the WNBA needs, at least as an organization, is more ammo for people to use against them as jokes, just like some of the players claiming that they're worthy of NBA contracts. It's not a good look for branding if you're letting people who probably never played a day of basketball in their lives do whatever they want to y'all on national television. And with that comes jokes of people saying themselves that they can probably beat a WNBA player, which again is not good as an image for y'all as a league. Next, I would like to talk about how if this were to happen, there would most likely be more bias for the women in the competition against men. And there are a few things I like to mention towards this claim. Now, I know I haven't played on the highest level compared to the small minority of people that does, but if there was one thing I do know, that there are not a lot of people who go hard on females. It's kind of just human nature. I don't really know how else to say it, but we all know it's true. We all know it's true. I have played against many of females in rec runs and even some college runs when I was in college. Well, wait, I am in college. Fuck it. Let me just keep going. And I've seen plenty of people that just let them do whatever they want. And then if they, if they're in the lead or something, they'll start going a little bit more seriously, but they never really truly play to their full potential against them. I just play basketball. Nothing comes easy no matter what. At least that's just for me. I don't take it easy on anyone. Now, there aren't too many examples of men playing against women together at a high level, but we do have some examples of that comes off as alarming. The main culprits of these acts are, well, unfortunately, McDonald's, who ruined a lot of people's lives, but no, the McDonald's All-American Slam Dunk Contest. In the 2019 McDonald's All-American Slam Dunk Contest, it was an event that had 7 of the best high school dunkers in the US and plus one other person. That person being Francesca Belibi, a 6'1" forward from California who a couple years ago took America by storm as she won the dunk contest. And that's 6'1" too, which is impressive, as most of the females that we see that are dunking are usually taller. She is almost as tall as me. But what wasn't so impressive, well, were her dunks in the actual contest compared to her other contestants. Observe.
Right away. Let's see it, Scotty. Hey! Actually now crossing it over to let everyone know she's jumping off her right foot, dunking. There we go. Forward. Yes, you can!
With great athleticism, it's expected.
Between the legs. That's a winner right there.
Now, I don't want to be looked at as a bigot or whatever, but how can I say this lightly? Even I can do those. And you know what? In fact,
Actually now crossing it over to let everyone know she's jumping off her right foot, dunking. Forward.
so can someone please enlighten me on how a girl doing dunks that even I can do is out here winning a contest with these freaks of nature? If I were to go into this dunk contest with them right now and do those same dunks, I'd be laughed out the gym, put on low light accounts on Instagram, and then be put on Baller's Life and laughed at again by people being harsh in the comment section. Funny thing about this is, it has happened more than once. Candace Parker has also won a dunk contest, and Breonna Stewart was getting perfect scores for doing this. And if they are getting equal treatment for their athleticism, then I can only be imagined this being so much worse if they played against actual men who are of course just naturally stronger and more athletic than women. And until this bias is gone, there will be no fucking way we can ever make this happen. And as usual, these people cannot complain about it because unfortunately, due to how social media works in our day and age, people will get quote unquote canceled for being against anything that has to do with women, which is also bad. And if any of those people participated in a contest were to speak out about them not winning the contest, and let's be honest, if they weren't dunking the way that they did and we lost, we'd probably be upset ourselves, then they'd be risking public image defamation and all types of ridicule, which I'm sure no one in their position would want to risk. Speaking of which, let's go on to my next point that might get me, well, canceled. Now this will be the most controversial thing to talk about, but at the end of the day, it must be said. Now, there are a good amount of examples of professional female athletes losing to younger male athletes, most recently being the world champion US women's soccer team losing to an under 15 male soccer team, which is alarming, but it just shows how much better males are physically than females. Seeing how a group of female world champions can lose to a bunch of not fully developed teenagers doesn't really help the future of co-ed sports. However, just for a little more evidence, what we have in today's climate is transgender athletes playing against females, which is the closest thing we'll ever have, well, at least recently, to a female to male co-ed sports competition, at least as of right now. We have many examples of people like this who were below average athletes when they were competing as males, and then when they go against females, they're just destroying the female competition. Another example of this is people basically fucking around and claim they are another gender just to break records. Of course, due to how human biology works, the female athletes find it unfair that men can do this, but due to how the world is progressing, saying stuff like that will absolutely cause backlash on the females and or whoever is talking about it against the transgender people. But knowing how most people think, especially in my generation, we'd be kind of curious to see how one would do against female basketball players on some Joanna Man type beat. But there isn't a major, well, well-known league yet that allows transgender athletes yet, so I'm sure we are a far ways from ever seeing that happening. All in all, the future is looking pretty dim when it comes to co-ed sports in general, especially in the sport of basketball. Now let me say again, just like in my WNBA video, women can ball. I've seen it firsthand, but we gotta be more realistic about this. Mark Cuban saying that he drafted Brittany Griner was a PR move and solely a PR move. A 6'8" player that can't dunk consistently and is playing in the post is just not made for the NBA. Again, I know it is mainly just for some PR, but even then, it's a no for me, dog. I don't even know if we'll ever even get developed enough as a species to allow something like that to happen, but hey, what do I know? I just make basketball videos on the internet. I love to see some females transcend themselves to that level, but I wouldn't give anyone a chance in the WNBA if they win against anyone in the NBA, especially if they play seriously. Anyways, with that being said, what do you think about my thoughts on this subject? All replies will be appreciated in the comment section below as I read all of them and respond to a good bit of them. Again, like the video for more weekly basketball content, check out my social medias for the inside life of Alvini and other channel news, check out my Twitch where I stream weekly and have to go through shit like this all the time.
Here's Kid.
What? The latency! I shot that perfectly! Oh my god. And lastly, if you want to talk to your boy, there is always my Discord. With that out of the way, this is your boy, Alvini Linguine, saying peace. Also, can we agree that Juwanna Man would not be released in current day 2020?